you're not doing art, you're doing design, you're solving for something. Art can be subjective because everyone will have their different interpretation of the art, but design needs to solve a purpose. So if a client doesn't like what you have produced and you still feel it's aesthetically pleasing, chances are that they don't understand what you have designed, or you haven't understood the brief properly. What I've also realized after working with, I don't know, maybe 50, 60, 70 designers over the last 10, 12 years is that it does take a very emotional hit. This is what I produced. I spent so much time on it. Why is this not being approved? So I'll tell you why it's not being approved, because you're not selling it well. Because if you feel so strong about an idea that it's affecting you emotionally and you're taking it very personally, then you should be able to explain it to the client as well, what you have actually thought about. They're running a business, they're running a brand, they are very smart people. They will understand if you can explain it logically to them. Since we have been doing this for quite some time, let me give you a step-by-step sort of like a checklist on how to go about the selling process. Selling essentially is that you want someone to believe in your idea. So for example, if you're doing branding and if you're doing the complete branding of a brand, so there are a lot of different deliverables. So before I get started with the logos and identity and all of that, what I would start with would be, I would take a buy-in on the positioning of the brand. What is the actual position that we want to capture in the minds of the end consumers? I would figure that out first. So for example, now we're taking a bold, quirky approach for this brand. Once I have that approval, then next thing I would do is present different art directions or mood boards to the clients, right? So I'm presenting with 4 or 5 different directions and I'm taking an assessment, okay, what is the kind of mood that you're liking? Once I have clarity on that, okay, you like the positioning which was a little bold, quirky. Now visually you're liking this very fun and vibrant sort of a direction. Now in the third step, I would start designing the logos, right? What I'm seeking in this step is I'm seeking an approval on, okay, what is the broad logo category that you're getting into? So when I'm presenting these logos, the chances of them getting outrightly rejected are low. Why? Because I've already taken approval on the broad positioning. I've already taken their buy-in on the art direction. Okay, visually this is how our brand is going to look like. So now they like this combination mark, right? I will start refining this particular logo rather than spending time on 5 or 10 different logos and keep on iterating. This is how I would break the process down. I am calling it the process, but essentially what I'm doing is I'm taking buy-ins as a different step. And now I will start working on that logo and refining it and doing the complete identity around it. And then I will also take buy-ins there. Okay, this is the story behind the logo. This is the journey that we are showing. This is a quirky eye. This is a flower that can change with seasons. Versus if I would have just gone ahead and given this logo to them, the chances of that being approved would have been very low. Because the client doesn't understand. Like I mentioned, we're not doing art, we're doing design. And designs need to solve a purpose. They cannot be subjective. So you need to solve that purpose and you need to even sell that idea to the client. They need to align with it and they need to approve it, because at the end of the day, it is a very personal decision for the client. You cannot have your personal biases because they have hired you to provide a service. Also, just a FYI, the brand that I covered in this example, we have created an entire documentary series on it, explaining the step-by-step process of how we build that brand. The documentary might be linked somewhere, so check that out. We have already launched the season 2 of Building a Brand. You can check that out as well. We are building a very interesting international brand. It's a 8-figure brand, so you surely cannot miss this one if you're a designer. So stop cribbing and start executing, designers. And don't worry, it's all cool. Until next time, I'll see you around.